Most people worry about getting hit by lightning once, maybe in their worst nightmares. For me, it happened 7 different times. But how does a man survive that, and what kind of life do you live when the sky itself seems to be hunting you? Welcome to Learn English with my story. Today you'll hear a true account told from the perspective of the person who lived through it. As you listen to this unbelievable story, we'll learn some natural and useful English together. My name is Roy Sullivan, and for 36 years, my office was the great outdoors. I was a park ranger in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. I loved the mountains, the quiet rustle of the leaves, the smell of pine after a rain. It was my whole life. I never thought the sky, the very thing I worked under every day, would turn against me. The first time was in 1942. I was just a young man back then, green behind the ears. By the way, green behind the ears is a common idiom. It means someone is young and has very little experience. For example, the new employee is still a bit green behind the ears. Anyway, I was in this new fire lookout tower. A big thunderstorm rolled in, which wasn't unusual, but this one was different. The tower didn't have a lightning rod, and I found out later it was hit several times. I decided to get out of there. But just as I got a few feet away, there was this deafening crack. It felt like the world exploded. The lightning hit my leg, traveled down, and blew a hole in my shoe. My big toenail was gone. It was a shock, but I figured it was just bad luck. A one-time thing. For almost 30 years it was. Life went on. I got married, had a family, and did my job. I almost forgot about that day in the tower. Then, in 1969, it happened again. I was driving my truck along a mountain road during a storm. Usually, a car is a safe place, but not for me. A bolt of lightning came through the open window. It hit me in the head, burned off my eyebrows and eyelashes, and knocked me unconscious. Here, unconscious is a useful word. It means you are not awake, usually because you are hurt or sick. For example, he fell and was unconscious for 5 minutes. When I woke up, my truck was rolling toward the edge of a cliff. I managed to stop it just in time. This time, I couldn't ignore it. Twice. That's not just bad luck. That's a pattern. A year later, in 1970, I was in my own front yard. A beautiful, sunny day. Or so I thought. A small storm appeared out of nowhere. A single bolt hit a transformer nearby, then jumped to my left shoulder, searing the skin. My wife was there with me. After that, she started looking at the sky a little differently whenever I was around. It was no longer a coincidence. Coincidence is a great word. It's when 2 or more surprising things happen at the same time by chance. For example, what a coincidence! I was just thinking about you. I started to feel a creeping fear. It wasn't just in the mountains or in my truck. It could happen anywhere. In 1972, the sky found me indoors. I was working at a ranger station. The storm was outside, and I thought I was safe. But the lightning came in through the building's wiring. It set my hair on fire. I had to rush to the bathroom and put my head under the faucet to extinguish the flames. After that incident, I started carrying a can of water with me everywhere I went. I began to suspect something was wrong with me, personally. To suspect is a verb we use a lot. It means you have a feeling that something is true, but you are not sure. For example, I suspect he is not telling the truth. My life changed. People at work started calling me the human lightning rod. Some of them meant it as a joke, but it didn't feel funny to me. If a storm was brewing, my friends would physically walk away from me. They were afraid. I can't say I blamed them. It was lonely. That kind of fear, it isolates you. It really started to get me down. To get someone down is a phrasal verb. It simply means to make someone feel sad or depressed. For example, this rainy weather really gets me down. The fifth strike was in 1973. I was in my truck again, patrolling the park roads. I saw a storm cloud forming in the distance, and I felt pure terror. It felt like it was following me. I pushed the gas pedal down, trying to outrun it. To outrun is a phrasal verb that's easy to understand. It means to run or move faster than someone or something else. For example, the small animal could not outrun the predator. But you can't outrun a cloud. The lightning hit me again, threw me from the truck, set my hair on fire again, and knocked my other shoe off. I poured my can of water over my head and just lay there on the ground, shaking. I was convinced that some force, God or the devil, was trying to destroy me. Why me? I just couldn't figure it out. Figure it out is a very common phrasal verb. It means to understand or solve something after thinking about it. For example, I can't figure out how to solve this math problem. I became extremely cautious. I would check the weather forecast constantly. If I was driving and the air felt electric, I would pull over and lie down on the front seat of my truck until the storm passed. I tried to do everything right, but it didn't matter. In 1976, I was at a campground. I saw a storm cloud, and I ran. I thought I was far enough away, but I was wrong. The sixth strike hit my ankle. It was completely pointless to try and escape. Pointless is an adjective we use for something that has no purpose or reason. For example, arguing with him is pointless. He never listens. By this point, my life felt like a strange joke. I was in the Guinness Book of World Records. People knew my story, but I was just a man who wanted to live a quiet life, and the sky wouldn't let me. I often wondered if the next one would be the last. And then, the seventh one came. It was June 25th, 1977. I was trying to have a normal day, just enjoying some fishing. A storm came up quickly. I felt the hair on my arms stand up, and I knew what was coming. The lightning hit me on the top of my head. It traveled down my body, burning my chest and my stomach. It was the worst one yet. As if that wasn't enough, while I was lying there, hurt and disoriented, a black bear appeared. It came down to the pond and started trying to steal the trout I had caught. I don't know where the strength came from, but I managed to hit the bear with a tree branch and scare it away. I had to deal with a bear right after being struck by lightning. To deal with is another useful phrasal verb. It means to handle or manage a problem or a situation. For example, I have to deal with a lot of customer complaints at my job. That was the last time. 7 times. After that, I retired. The strikes stopped. I never understood why it happened. Was it the metal in my ranger's buckle? Was it something about the minerals in the ground in that area? Or was it just me? I don't have the answers. People have always looked for an explanation. Explanation is a noun. It is the reason or justification for something. For example, he gave a simple explanation for why he was late. I suppose some things in this world just don't have a clear reason. You just have to come to terms with what happens to you. To come to terms with. Something is an important idiom. It means to gradually accept a sad or difficult situation. For example, she is still coming to terms with her father's death. Living with that kind of constant threat, it changes you. You learn that you're not in control. Not really. All you can do is get back up, put out the fire in your hair, and maybe fight off a bear or two. I survived. That's the only thing I know for sure. I survived. This story shows us that life can be more unpredictable than we could ever imagine. Roy Sullivan's experience reminds us of the strange and powerful forces of nature, and the human ability to endure even the most impossible circumstances. If these kinds of true stories help you connect with English, join our community by subscribing to the channel. We explore fascinating real-life events and true crime cases every week to help you master the language through listening. We look forward to seeing you in the next one.